All right, what is going on, guys? Happy Friday. Got my Buffalo Bills hat on, so go Bills. And sorry to all those Patriots fans out there on losing their Super Bowl. But I know you guys are probably like, what about the Bills? When's the last time they were there? Doesn't matter. Let's not talk about that. Today, I just wanted to talk about, a pretty controversial topic, I'd say. It's hypnosis. So, yeah, definitely something, out of left field, but I just want to share kind of my story on how I came across it, what I think about it, like the big takeaways that I have now, and we'll see what else comes with that. But kind of the story on how I came across it was, I was reading this book called Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, and he was, talking about his techniques. If you guys don't know Tony Robbins, he's this world-renowned self-help coach, kind of guru, motivational speaker, and he, Moses, no, buddy. And he, referenced NLP in the book. And so whenever an author does that, I like to go check it out, read some of their books. So I read a few books on what Tony Robbins uses, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And in those books, written by Richard Bandler, John Grinder, they're really the founders of the NLP. There's one more person above them, I forget, or one more person that they learned from. I forget his name, but he was really good at like hypnotizing people and putting them in trances. And I'll get there. I know we all have, I don't know if we all, but I know some people who have weird feelings about it. I'm going to get there. So yeah, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Start reading some books, Frogs the Princes, some other books, and it's pretty interesting. And I found out that my friend who's a psychotherapist who is a Christian, practices NLP and has done hypnosis. And so, it's definitely interesting. And so here are some of my thoughts on it. Well, let me tell you guys what it is, what I took away. So neuro-linguistic programming, it's kind of connected to hypnosis. The big takeaway is that our words are so powerful, and our words are like, it's like our programming essentially, like it's in the name of NLP. And in NLP, there's these things called anchors. They're all around us, but words are anchors. And when we hear certain words, we can feel certain emotions. And so I'm kind of sharing all these things I've been learning with you guys right now. So yeah, just words are so powerful. And I really liked the way that John Grinder and Richard Bandler described the conscious and unconscious mind. They were so simple with their definition. The conscious mind is simply what you're aware of. The unconscious mind is simply what you're not aware of. And right now, if I tell you, or if I were to ask you, how does your pinky toe feel? Now, all of a sudden, you're aware of your pinky toe and how it feels. And before I asked that, it probably wasn't in your mind. Sorry, that's just my dog just moaning. He wants me to throw his toy to him, but I'll get it to him in a second. And so yeah, the unconscious, conscious mind, I really like that definition. It's super simple. And so what you focus on, some people, they perceive things from a visual perspective, from a kinesthetic, they're big feelers, or they're auditory perceivers. And obviously most people are, they use all of them, but they have a dominant system. Anyways, okay, so that's a little bit about NLP. I'm still learning how it connects to hypnosis. And I guess from my understanding, it's, what you focus on, that in in a sense, is your hypnotism. So, hypnosis means sleep. That's the etymology of it. That's the root. It means sleep. And then there's other words that they use in these books, like trance. So when you think of someone being in a trance, you can't get them off whatever they're focused on, like they're like a zombie or whatever the case may be. And this, just even more background, kind of started from a conversation I was having with a psychotherapist, one of my friends, and they were like, oh yeah, everybody's, in low levels of hypnosis, or they're in low levels of being in a trance. And I was like, really? And we started talking more about it. And it's like, well, yeah, what do you think someone's doing when they're watching a movie? They are in a mild form of a trance. And if it's a good movie, it's even more captivating, right? Being in a book, like reading a good book. People being on their phone, that's a certain level of being in a trance, right? Like, man, there are some people who struggle, like they want to stop scrolling. They want to get off TikTok, but they're just so glued into their phone that it's very difficult. That is a strong trance, using the terminology of these guys, Richard Bandler, John Grinder, etc. So got me thinking, I'm like, okay, we're all, quote unquote in a trance, really. And then I started thinking, for me, what it means is just whatever your conscious mind is focused on, that's just your paradigm. That's your conscious mind. That's the trance you're in. So in some ways, it's a really useful tool because you can choose what you want to focus on. And if there's negative things going around, well, focusing on something positive, right? So again, I'm just sharing with you guys some of the things that I've learned and trying to understand it better, have a interest. I feel like I have a interesting perspective on it. I'm not sure. But anyways, I know people hear about hypnosis and they feel a certain kind of way and are like, I don't know if that's right. What's wrong? Is there something wrong with that? And I've been thinking this too, questioning it. And I'm like, okay, when someone goes in for surgery, they're put under, right? And they're fully knowing, they're fully, willing, and they're allowing that to happen, right? And, no matter who you work with, you want to work with people who have high ethics. And so, I was reading, and there's I hope the majority of hypnotists do this, but they of course get permission and like they call people up on stage and, whatever the case may be. So it's just got me thinking, just talking out loud right now. So yeah, I know that was a lot for today. And yeah, it's interesting. I definitely will keep formulating thoughts about it, and I definitely want to learn more. But I think the big takeaway for me is just knowing the power of being able to focus, the power of controlling your mind. That's really what Tony Robbins, like I've read his Awaken the Giant Within. I'm finishing up his Unlimited Power right now. And, that's the main takeaway that I'm getting is just whatever you focus on, that's like your mind is so powerful, and how you frame things, how you think about things, how you perceive things, right? That may be one of the most important abilities that we have, especially when negative things happen to us. Asking ourselves, Tony, saw him in this interview, and he said, whenever something bad happens, or what I perceive it to be, if I perceive it to be bad, then I ask myself, what are 3 other things that this could mean? And I think that's just a healthy viewpoint. So that's the big takeaway for me. And it's a beautiful thing, just being able to control your focus. And so, yeah, I know it's a controversial topic, but just wanted to throw it out there. That's something that I've learned about a little bit, interested in learning more about, and I don't think it's as taboo. I mean, yeah, you got to approach everything with a grain of salt. And I think there was one more thing I was going to say, but forgot it. So anyways, guys, going on 10 minutes here. Hope you guys have a great night. Talk to you later. Bye.